So there he is, our friend Nemo. He's celebrating 10 years since the birth of Empty Hands Music, a nonprofit created with the intention to use music and media and the arts to spread love and positivity in and around the world as a gift without charging for it. Nemo told me when he presented that idea to his dad thought he was absolutely crazy. Many of you have experienced firsthand that loving presence of our friend Nemo. And I know it warms your heart, as it does mine, to see him in this video, being himself, connecting with others, shining his light of love. Well, I planned my lessons and talks several weeks in advance. And I knew that this would be our first Sunday together after my month off, and that we would be together today for the first time in several weeks. So I chose this time to share Nemo's new video. Now, I know you had fun without me. 5 weeks of guest speakers and concerts and workshops, and concluding last Sunday with our wonderful music team Sunday. I thank everyone for stepping up and into all the parts that needed to be filled. And in truth, we know there is no separation in time and space, that our oneness cannot be diminished by physical distance or absence. It can be forgotten in our minds, but not in our hearts. For we truly have a tremendous, very deep, essential faith in the love that we have for one another. This community is most definitely a celebration of love every time we come together. Yes, on Sunday mornings, but also on Wednesdays for our Wellness Wednesdays, painting kindness rocks, or doing yoga nidra or spirit dance. We're celebrating love when we make sand sculptures at the beach, or participate in the Pride Parade or the Holiday Parade, painting the wall in the sanctuary or the gift shop, watering plants in the Peace Garden, donating food or clothing, our board meetings, finance team, music rehearsals, all of it. The prayer chaplains are celebrating love when they pray with you. And our prayer team is celebrating love when they hold you in prayer each week. The ushers and hospitality team, tech team, daily word readers, platform leaders, our music team, all are celebrating love as they serve. Our team that spreads our daily words around Key West are celebrating love. Our office angels helping here at the church, because we're serving in joy. We're serving from joy, from the space of absolute love. And those who are not in service are coming together to simply be together, to celebrate the love you feel, and being that love, beaming that love. Those who join us online are part of it all. And beyond these walls, our community connects with one another all over the world whenever they have the opportunity. Our former music director, Melody Cooper, who lives in North Carolina, she joined our music team at the Empower Music Conference, staying with them on campus. Aaron goes to Disney World, and Justin and Jean, longtime members who now live in Mount Dora and who are on Zoom every week, got together with him during one of his visits. I think Deborah Butler, on her way to New Mexico, got to stop and see and spend time with Jean and Justin on her way out. Marianne and Ray joined with our distant members, Jody and Michael, who now live and travel all over the place, on vacations all over the place, most recently out west. And Denny and I have joined with Marianne Davis and her husband, Terry, while being in Ohio. And I know there are many, many more examples of these connections, because we love connecting whenever or wherever. For the walls of this church are not a barrier containing the love within. They are a springboard, launching us into the community at large and beyond. We take this everywhere we go as part of who we are, and we share it with the world, one person at a time, whether they're dear, dear friends or people we have just met. We trust this feeling, this deep connection, the connection that reminds us of the essential love of spirit, the grace and acceptance, divine love. And when we doubt this love, this divine presence, we can simply look at one another and see that light of God shining, expressing, showing us love. And when we turn within, we feel the warmth of this light, this inner, ever-present presence of the divine. And as we do this again and again and again, forgetting and then remembering, forgetting and then remembering, with each cycle, each process of remembering, we are strengthening our faith. We are developing a deeper trust. We're building that faith muscle and expanding a trusting heart. Knowing that we're all doing the very best we can at any given moment with the tools we currently have, and holding the intention personally, each one of us, to grow spiritually, to continue to practice, to use our tools, to turn within, to seek God first, moving in an upward spiral spiritually. Every day releasing more ego-driven thoughts and ways, and allowing spirit to be our inspiration, guiding our words, our thoughts, our every action. And this brings me to the parable of the talents. Yes, it is that exciting time of year. We are ready to kick off our Parable of the Talents program. Time for action. And we've heard the story found in the Gospel of Matthew. We find it in chapter 25, verses 14 through 30. And remember that Jesus often taught in parables. And parables are stories containing messages concerning the kingdom of God or the kingdom of heaven. So the story goes like this. A man is going on a journey, and he calls his servants together and gives them each talents, or pieces of value. We can call it money or skill. And to the first servant, he gives 5. And this servant takes them and invests them and makes 5 more, doubling the master's investment. To the second servant, he gives 2 talents, and this servant also doubles the master's investment. To the third servant, the master gives 1 talent. The servant took the talent, dug a hole, placed it in the ground, and left it at that. After a long while, the master returns, and he has the servants account for the talents. Of course, he's very pleased with the first and the second servants, and he tells them so. The third one, however, he is angry with, and they call each other names. The parable goes on to say, "For to everyone who has will more be given, and he will have an abundance. But from the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away. And cast the worthless servant into the outer darkness, in that place where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth." I previously found this ending confusing. Why was the master so mean? And why did he cast out the servant? But then when we look at this metaphysically, when we understand this is about our own consciousness, we are hard on ourselves when we feel we failed, aren't we? We use horrible names, mean names even, when we're disappointed in ourselves, when we feel that we have failed, when we've stumbled, when we've erred. But what does that mean? For everyone who has will more be given, and he or she will have abundance. But from the one who has not, even what he or she has will be taken away. Well, I see this perfectly aligned with faith and with trust. So let's look at this parable again with that approach. For to everyone who has faith, more will be given. and he or she will have an abundance. But from the one who has no faith, even what he or she has will be taken away. And when we apply it deeper into the story, we can see that the first and the second servants had faith that they were capable of doing what the master had directed, and the master being their own inner guidance, their inner wisdom. They had confidence. They had developed that muscle of faith, and they possessed trusting hearts. They had faith in their own creativity, that ideas would arise from within them for what to do with the inspiration they'd been given. And they moved forward with faith. That carried them through to action, increasing the energy and the manifestation from something to something even greater. The third servant had not developed their muscle of faith, and they got locked into fear. They did not take what they had and carry it forward. They lacked the trust in their own abilities, even though they received the same divine guidance, the same inspiration. They buried any ideas they had and were left with only what they'd originally been given. Now let's look at that last part of the parable again and apply it this way. For to everyone who has faith, more will be realized, and they will have an abundance in all areas of their lives. But for those who do not have the spiritual maturity, the confidence, the self-trust to step out in faith, even what they have will fizzle and disappear. So can you see how this parable speaks to us yet today? How it applies to how we're living our lives and allowing the kingdom of God, God's love, to express through us. We can only do that when we feel confident in who we are, when we feel safe, when faith is deep and abiding. What are you passionate about? What makes your heart sing? We all have something, many somethings. Are you willing to take those passions through to faith and trust in your abilities? Are you willing to consider the ideas that come to you, perhaps divinely inspired? Well, today is our kickoff for the Parable of the Talents program, and we're taking this concept of faith and moving it into action. And this is how it works. You have an idea. There's something you're excited about, and you see how this idea could be used to create something, a product, a service, an experience to offer for sale at the Parable of the Talents sale, which will be held on December 17th this year. You think about the cost of creating this something. Well, starting next week, you can see one of our Parable of the Talents bankers, our board treasurer, Janet Smith, or Carolyn Sullivan, our church coordinator, and obtain $10, $20, $30, or even more to seed your project. And you have several weeks from now until December 17th to create what you're going to offer at this annual fundraising sale. If this is new to you, I'll mention a few examples of years past. Baking is always a winner. Brownies, cookies, cakes, muffins, all sorts of yummies. Sometimes there's Christmas ornaments or jewelry and services like house cleaning or yard work, or fun things like a boat ride or a dinner at someone's house. So you think about it and consider and then choose what you could create or a service you could offer and bring it to the sale on the 17th of December, and all proceeds go to the church as an annual fundraiser. It is so much fun, and I am always stunned by the creativity and the imagination of all of you. And of course, you want to save up your dollars also, because there's always amazing offerings that you want to purchase. It takes faith and a trusting heart. Faith and trust in your ability to offer something that others will want to purchase. And the cost of supplies can be obtained from our bank beginning next week. But you donate your idea, your time and talent to create something, maybe a new idea, something never offered before. For to everyone who has faith, more will be realized, and they will have an abundance in all areas of their lives. And this abundance includes divine inspiration, divine ideas. It is from this abundance that others are blessed. For this is how we're to live our lives. We are meant to live fully, to have faith in who we are, to have trust in our inner wisdom, to seek God first in all things. That was the message that Jesus conveyed over and over in all the ways he lived and all the ways he taught. Kingdom of heaven is here and now in our hearts, inspired and supported by divine love. And we bless our world from the abundance, from the overflow, because we are constantly being fed by spirit, nourished and nurtured by the divine. And so we always have more than enough. Always. More than enough love, more than enough faith, more than enough creativity, with trusting, peace-filled, generous hearts. Compassion overflows and understanding outpours. We are each truly blessed by being part of this beloved community. I am truly blessed to be back with you and that we are together today. And so it is. And so it is.